Do you ever sit down in a fabric chair outside and realize it is actually damp? I have a wet butt for the cause as I record this. And also, if you're following the trials and tribulations of our life here, that we can't keep the lights on for anything, we've not made it a full month and we've already had our fourth power outage of the year in 6 months. I guess maybe because some trees fell down today as a result of the weather. We had a quick storm. I can't tell you that we had high winds or even lightning or anything really unusual. But we're here. And I mentioned in the last podcast, because obviously I'm doing a lot of Wet n Wild, that these products that came out for the new year that technically dropped at Walmart in December of 2025 are just now finally making their way to Amazon, and not even in a way that you could get them. It's still doing that thing where it says you'll get it between June and July or August, and it's not on Prime. But why I bring this up is, you know what dropped today? The pink glitter illuminator from Fantasy Makers from last Halloween. I mean, you have to try really hard to be that bad with your products and your distribution. And it's not even on Prime. Oh, you know what? It came up under a shipper. So it's not even being sold by Amazon. So maybe we can't blame Wet n Wild, but they just caught my eye. And I'm like, what are we doing? So the listing looked pretty legit. But there we are. So today is going to be a very long one. It says that it is at least a 30-minute reading time, so for me it's probably going to be double. So I went super crazy, ridiculously in-depth on this topic, more than I need to. And I'm sitting outside, there are noises. So this is going to be a drinking game of how many times I will say Wet n Wild and NYX today. We are doing one of the many comparisons that I want to do. We're doing the battle of the jelly lip colors. We're doing Jelly Drip versus Jelly Job. Two things that I will say here is, one, I am currently working on non-Wet n Wild content. I do all sorts of things. It just literally took me this long to get through all of this, and there's still more that I want to do educationally, right? Two, the Jelly Job lip gloss is roughly $13. Depends where you buy it. It's $11, $12. There's 16 shades. And I oftentimes feel the pressure when I'm reviewing something to buy one of every shade. I am not doing that with this because the price is ridiculous for a drugstore lip gloss. And two, the point of this, well, I guess that's really 3 points, right? The point of this is not to do a comparison of the shades, because they're not trying to dupe the shade range. Wet n Wild has 3, NYX has 16. That's not the point, but the point is to compare the claims, the finish, the application, the packaging, the whole deal. But obviously the shades and what these brands are going for are very different. So I bought myself one Jelly Job for the purpose of creating this comparison. I know that is normal consumption. Why do I have to explain that? But I'll get into the comparison now, and I'll start with the at a glance. So these are both high shine lip glosses. They deliver a super shiny glass-like finish with a lightweight medium coverage and a smoothing effect over your lip lines. I've already mentioned the shades, so I'll skip that. So you get sheer to medium with these. High shine finish. Wet n Wild is going to give you ingredients like vitamin E, sunflower seed oil, ginger root extract. NYX gives you peptides. It's a little bit more skincare-y, right? That's always the trend. And cherry seed oil. So with these, because they're glossy, they're going to fade with around 2 hours. Wet n Wild gives you a bit of a tint. There's no tint with NYX, but it does give you that conditioned feel like a lip mask. So these are best for wanting something affordable, more so on the Wet n Wild side, wanting high shine payoff, getting some color, or for NYX if you want that kind of like full-bodied, as they call it, conditioning feel. Packaging, Wet n Wild has the metal applicator, NYX has the plastic spatula, and these are available across all different retailers that sell drugstore makeup, right? So here we are These are two different takes on something high shine jelly for the lips. Both of these brands are trying to give you something glossy and glassy, and they want to smooth over the lip lines, but they have very different textures, pigment levels, application styles, and wear experience. And that's what we're going to go really in depth on. We're going to compare all of those factors so you can see how these are going to perform in real life. What do you want to spend your money on? What's going to give you what you are looking for? None of these are limited edition, by the way. And if you are reading along with the blog post, I do have a comparison table for those quick hit items that we've pretty well already mentioned. I want to say here too, it's going to take me longer than 30 minutes of all the shit that I got to say, but you get the wackiest comments on Reddit and YouTube. You just do. Like, I never got bad comments until I started posting on those platforms. I mean, like, mean comments. But I just recently got a comment on one of my, it was on my podcast. It was on the YouTube version of that podcast. And if you've ever listened to a podcast on YouTube, it just shows the thumbnail picture and you listen to the audio. And it's in the podcast section and so on and so forth. And somebody commented, 30 minutes long and no swatches. And I'm just like, well, how many times within the podcast I usually make that comment up? If you're following along with the blog post or with the Substack, I have the photos. I have the swatches of everything, every product on my face. It's the pinned comment, and in the description box, I also link you to that article. The pinned comment is linked to the article as well. It's like things just go right over people's heads. Like, do not be mad at me. I give you the things. All of the options are there. The whole point of why I am making these podcasts is because you have to be multi-platform if you want to show up and have a chance anywhere. I'm doing it because I have to be competitive. And that's a whole other topic in and of itself. So let's continue on the comparison here. So first with the details and claims. So Wet n Wild and NYX are both claiming some sort of high shine jelly gloss situation for a smooth lip, a juicy look, right? So they both talk about glass-like shine and making your lips look fuller, but they take different approaches to doing this, right? So Wet n Wild is very lightweight. They have that metal applicator. When it touches your lips, it feels cool only in those moments where it's touching you, right? Well, NYX is thicker, and they're giving you that plastic spatula-like applicator to help you smooth that product out over the lips. And as I've said, 3 shades versus 16. So according to Wet n Wild, they say the jelly drip should have a mirror-like finish, feel lightweight, and feel good on the lips, right? With vitamin E and ginger root extract, sunflower seed oil. And they tell you can layer it with other products and customize the shine. And like you can do that with any gloss. That's not even special, right? So for NYX, they use this term full-bodied. And I get it because of how thick it is. And it really does do that cool effect where it smooths out your lip lines for a little bit, right? And when that happens, you get that fuller look without having to use a plumper and something that burns and tingles, right? This has sweet cherry seed oil and an entire peptide complex. And within the 16 colors, they have a variety of different things going on. They offer shimmer and non-shimmers, which is interesting. So the biggest difference so far on paper is going to be the formula. Wet n Wild emphasizing the lightweight shine, the unique metal applicator they like to push, right? NYX is pushing those conditioning ingredients, the peptides, the lip smoothing, and that large shade range. And as I said, these are available through all different retailers that carry these brands. You may have a hard time finding all the shades at every retailer. You might have to go online, do a little scavenger hunting. It is what it is. It's always that way with drugstore stuff. So NYX is going to be generally easier to find in stores, is my understanding, whereas it is still hard to find all of the jelly drip shades. So summary of the details and claims. Both of these glosses are similar in that they aim for the glass-like high shine finish. Wet n Wild is going to throw more claims at you for lightweight shine and cooling application. NYX is going to emphasize conditioning and a full lip look. So the core difference is going to be that ingredient list, right, and the lightweight shine. So I get right into here, the side-by-side swatches. So I purchased the NYX shade in Jelly Blushing because that's like the mauve shade, and that's what I go to for lip colors. And I compared that to the closest lip color that we do have from the Wet n Wild line, blush guava. They're obviously meant to be different, and quite honestly, on the hand, they look like shiny lip glosses, right? But there is a noticeable difference in the color payoff, the overall appearance. Blush guava, you can already tell, is a more, the formula is more saturated, right? It's brighter, it's deeper, there's more going on there, versus NYX has a softer, milkier kind of appearance, and I've heard people liken this to that this is milky gloss. And if I remember correctly, because I had like one or two of those, this is still thicker, but I think we think that just because of the milky finish, right? So Wet n Wild, per these swatches, and also I have photos of these like on my hands and on my lips. I think the lips is more telling because you can see what I'm saying about the lip lines and stuff, right? And your natural lip color coming through. Wet n Wild is going to give you more immediate pigment. It's very pigmented for being a glossy product. I wouldn't even call it like a true lip gloss. It's a glossy lip product, but it's not like a Lancome Juicy Tube or something like that, right? So it stands out clearly in that way. NYX is going to be, even with all the different colors that they offer, they are all sheer washes of color. Like they offer this blue one. It's going on clear, folks, right? You get the deal there. So especially with this mauve-y pink, it's not even a deep mauve. The package is more mauve-y, but once you put it on, look at the damn picture in the blog post, you're getting more of that your lips but better sort of thing going on, right? But no matter which one you choose, you're going to get that glossy finish. So it's depending on if you're looking for more of that stronger color impact or more of the shine with the softness, right? So if you're comparing here, you want to do a natural makeup look, you want to do that clean girl look, you're going to go with the NYX, okay? It's more subtle. So formula and texture comparison. So of course they're both going to focus on high shine, but they take different paths to get there. So Wet n Wild is going to be like, I'm wearing the glossy lip product, but it's lightweight, it's not sticky, but it has more color payoff than you probably expected in your first impression, right? Well, NYX is giving you something that is very thick, it is conditioning, and that's for how they get that full-bodied claim, right? So we're going to highlight that in this texture comparison. And what I found in doing my research for this is very interesting. So I've already obviously tried the Jelly Drip and the Jelly Job before I even did this research and wrote this up. And I find that when it comes to beauty, and this probably applies to other things too, people have very different comments and reactions on different social media platforms. So I really had a hard time finding anything positive that somebody had to say on Reddit about the Jelly Job. Everybody complained. The price was the big kicker, but just how thick it was. They hated the formula. Those were the two things. Versus not as many posts as the Jelly Drip. I'm one of the main people that have posted about it, but it was taken very favorably. But if you look on Instagram, I love reading comments on different platforms. So if you look on Instagram, people are just like, oh yeah, I love the Jelly Job, great idea. It's like you're bringing back the milky gloss and all this stuff. So I don't know how to take it if people like it or hate it. I personally don't hate either of these. I enjoyed my full day wear test of both of these, and I think even especially the Jelly Job. And I might wear it tomorrow. So there you have it. So the Wet n Wild is very lightweight, but it's more like a traditional lip gloss, right? It's not going to feel like a lip oil or a lip mask, okay? So it spreads evenly across your lips. It mostly smooths over lip lines. It's not the same effect as the NYX. You really gotta try the NYX to see what I mean. You're gonna have that juicy lip. The colors are very fruity, right? And even the product itself has a very watermelon, scent and flavor, whereas the NYX doesn't really have like a distinguishable scent or flavor that I could describe to you. It remains very comfortable throughout wear. You can reapply the Wet n Wild product as much as you want, and it's not going to bleed or feather outside the lip lines. It's not going to get stringy and gunky in the center of the lips. The applicator feels cold, but again, I just don't get the point of that. Like, was the metal just to be cool to sell product? Is there something about it that would work better than a doe foot or a plastic applicator to spread it out? Because there's no point of having to cool your lips. It only feels cold as it touches your lips. There's no lingering effect. Those sorts of things I just never seem to understand. It's just marketing, I guess. But I mean, it works. The metal applicator picks up the right amount of pigment. I don't feel like I have to dip it back in 5 times to coat my lips, right? Now, if you go to NYX, this is a very thick lip gloss, okay? Now, it's not sticky, but because it's thicker, it's going to be able to hang around a little bit longer. And it's going to wear off, and you're going to have to reapply it, but you won't have to do that as often as you would with something like the Jelly Drip, right? So I did notice with this one, when you separate your lips, you can get a little bit of that stringy effect. It's not bad. It's going to go away. And when it does finally wear off, you're still going to feel a coating of it. So if you've ever used like an overnight lip mask, the lip treatment, you kind of feel it there. And then after it's all washed off and it's said and done, your lips actually do feel softer and conditioned. So again, you might eat and drink and all of that, and the shine wears off, but you still feel it a little bit. And the applicator does a good job of spreading out that thick formula, right? So when it comes to the comfort, what you're looking for here, really this entire blog post you're going to see comes down to your preferences. I'm not really going to tell you like one's a winner and one's a loser, because some people are going to like both, or they're only going to like one or other. I get that, right? So if you want lightweight, it feels like it's barely there, but the color is going to be punchy, you're on Wet n Wild. If you want the cushiony lip gloss, the thick feeling, the conditioned lips, not a whole lot of color, then you're on the NYX side. So then we go find something that's kind of in between, right? Well, maybe my next comparison is kind of the in-between, if you will. I have an even more unpredicted comparison to do. This was somewhat predictable because they both have jelly in the name. So Wet n Wild feels lighter and less noticeable. NYX is richer. So shine intensity, they do differ a little bit here. So Wet n Wild is going to give you that immediate glossy finish, that juicy lip. It's going to wear off, of course. It's going to smooth over lip lines just a little bit. But then it leaves a bit of the stain on your lips, and it's going to last as you're eating and you're doing the things. NYX isn't going to do that for you. There's no stain. There's no color like that, right? So it's going to give a lot of shine. It's going to be that thick glossy layer on the lips. It's going to be cushiony. It's going to look plush and smoothed out, right? So in comparing these side by side, you're going to get a glossy finish in different ways. Wet n Wild is bright, juicy. NYX is that full, glassy, thick lip, okay? So Wet n Wild is going to get you there for the lightweight. NYX is going to get you there for the sheer thick aspect. I think I've said that enough here, right? So what is the summary? Wet n Wild, non-sticky, strong color impact, lightweight. NYX is thick, cushiony with a coated lip feeling. Wet n Wild is a quick, bright shine. It's going to fade. It's going to stain the lips a little bit. And NYX is just a full-bodied lip gloss. Pigment and color pay off, right? What's going on here? So Wet n Wild is going to be the winner for the color payoff, but then they only give you 3 shades. NYX is going to be that soft, sort of sheer wash of color, and the shine intensity is going to be something that you're going to see with both of them to somewhat of a varying degree. So I would describe Wet n Wild as a lip gloss as a very high medium level of pigmentation. You're not going to see a whole lot of your natural lip color coming through. The color is immediate, and that's really going to be the key in that finished look. So it's not intended to be a full coverage lip product. This isn't like a liquid lipstick sort of situation, but it's going to give you enough pigment to hide most of or alter a lot of your natural lip color, right? The shades are very vibrant, they're very juicy, but it's not particularly buildable. So once you put it on, the color that you have, you're not going to gain additional color intensity or coverage or putting more of the Jelly Drip on, okay? As the Jelly Drip fades, it does act a bit like a lip stain. That will happen. And if you want to see more about that and know any other details, I have a separate standalone dedicated review article on the Jelly Drip Lip Glaze, and that is all there. NYX Jelly Job is what you more so expect out of a traditional lip gloss. in being a sheer wash of color. Some of your lip color is going to come through, maybe give you a bit of a Your Lips But Better look depending on the shade that you purchase, right? It's going to enhance your lips. It's not going to cover them. So that color payoff is softer and subtler, but you're still going to have a lot of shine. So NYX is thicker, more reflective, and that's really more so its focus than having tons of color and pigment, right? So that's more natural looking, and it's going to pair better with a minimal, like everyday makeup look. So side by side, Wet n Wild, hands down is going to be more pigment, stronger color. It creates a more noticeable lip look, right? Especially with that stain that it's going to leave behind. NYX is going to be softer and just be like more of an enhancement to what you already have, right? So what do you choose here? NYX if you want subtle, Wet n Wild if you want a bit more bold. So summary. Wet n Wild provides noticeably higher pigment in a single swipe. NYX delivers a softer sheer tint focused on enhancement. Wet n Wild behaves slightly like a stain, and NYX prioritizes shine and natural lip enhancements. They're going to prioritize that over a strong color impact. What is the longevity in the wear time? Again, they're glosses. It's not going to be mind-blowing, right? They're going to require reapplication as you please throughout the day. Wet n Wild is going to lose a lot of its shine within 2 hours, and it's going to act like a lip stain after that. NYX is going to wear off. It'll take a little bit longer because it's thicker, so a bit longer than that. But it's going to leave a little bit of coating on your lips. Your lips are going to feel soft and conditioned, right? So what you pick here is going to come down to what you value in a lip color, right? So Wet n Wild is going to give you that strong finish right away. It really is juicy and watermelony for sure. And then that shine is going to transfer as you eat and as you drink and as you talk, that sort of thing, right? So for me, when I was testing these, I was just sipping water through a straw, and in 2 hours, I noticed most of the shine had gone away at that point. And that's even without eating a sandwich or something like that, okay? But a lot of that color stayed behind, and that staining effect, while it doesn't advertise itself as being a glossy lip stain, that stain barely transfers. So you can also think about it that way. If you want to use a glossy lip stain, you want to put it on, wait a little bit, and wipe that glossy layer off. You don't even want that whole glassy thing. You can totally do that. So it functions as a lip stain, but it's not called a true lip stain. And then if you want to reapply, obviously at that point, it really goes on well over top of itself, for sure. So Jelly Job is just completely different, right? So it's going to fade a little bit longer because of how thick it is. The day that I tested this, he went and had Asian fusion, sushi, and the whole deal. It's messy, right? So at that point, there was hardly anything left at all, but I still felt a little bit of that coating on the lips. I felt the conditioning, and I really likened it in my mind to an overnight lip mask, right? So bear in mind, if you do want to reapply this one, this is where you get a bit of that gummy kind of stringy action in the center of the lips. It's not uncomfortable, it's not that bad, and again, just really depends on your preference. So what do you prioritize or value with longevity? Is it the visible color retention, or just, more of a clearer lip that you have to keep reapplying? Wet n Wild is going to win for color retention, but NYX is going to win for more of that presence in your life in the conditioning feel. So summary here, Wet n Wild loses shine faster but leaves behind more visible color. NYX maintains a longer lasting coated lip feeling after the gloss is gone. Neither formula is truly long wearing and requires reapplication. Wet n Wild is going to favor pigment retention. NYX is going to favor the texture longevity. And now I have the ingredients list to compare, and I have both lists here, and you know the deal, I'm not going to read them, but the ingredients are very different, and you're going to see traditional lip gloss ingredients, additives to help things feel moisturizing on the lips. NYX is really going to hit you with the emollients and the peptides. They're trying to be more skincare-y, right? So when you look at these ingredients, it is very obvious that this is what contributes, of course, right, to the different wear situation. So I have the ingredients list here, but the jelly drip is going to be a combination of emollients, moisturizers, vitamin E, sunflower seed oil, ginger root extract. It also contains glycerin, scintilla, I do not know how to say this, and bisabolol. And these are also ingredients that you tend to find in more like skincare-like products, but they're really just more moisturizers. And as I mentioned, there's a watermelon thing going on, so there is fragrance here, right? So overall, what they have going on here is supporting, let's stay as lightweight as we possibly can, but let's have that glossy finish too. When you look at Jelly Job, this has a really rich base of emollients, conditioning ingredients, peptide complex. I don't know how to pronounce these peptides, of course. And it has sweet cherry seed oil, vitamin E, and those are the types of products that give you that long-lasting conditioning feel, for sure. So that's a really big difference, the ingredients list here in this comparison. So Jelly Drip is going to combine traditional lip gloss, some moisturizing additives. It's going to prioritize some shine, some comfort on the lips. Jelly Job is going to focus more on conditioning, peptides, thicker, hanging around a little bit longer. So if ingredients is something that you really care about, NYX is more lip treatment oriented. If you're going to throw that out the window and you're just like, hit me with that lip gloss, you're going to go for Wet n Wild and their simpler ingredient approach there, right? So summary of the ingredients comparison. Wet n Wild is using a mix of emollients, botanicals, and classic gloss ingredients. NYX is more of a lip treatment peptide kind of focus. Wet n Wild leans towards lightweight cosmetic gloss. They just want to hit that performance, right? NYX leans towards conditioning and skincare adjacent sort of properties. Let's talk about the pricing, because that's the thing that really has people in an uproar on this product, right? We know drugstore makeup prices have gotten out of hand given things that have been going on in the world for quite some time. But I just think, honestly, these are ridiculous from NYX. They just are. All right? NYX and Wet n Wild are supposed to be your budget-friendly option. So Wet n Wild is clearly positioned as the budget-friendly option here. And what really shocked me when the NYX arrived is how small the packaging is. And this actually caused me to think that they were charging a crazy price point and giving you hardly any gloss. So I compared the fluid ounces as part of this price difference in value as well. And I was shocked to find out that NYX is giving you double the amount of product at Wet n Wild, but it has a much smaller package. And double the price point too, I guess. But I guess NYX just cut out a lot of the unnecessary plastic packaging and it's not as bulky. That's all that I could think. So Jelly Drip is giving you 0.12 fluid ounces. Depending on where you buy it, you'll get it for $5.97 to $7.99, so $6-7. And there's 3 shades. So Berry Squish, Blush Guava, and Raspberry Crush, with some inconsistent availability across retailers. NYX is giving you 0.25 fluid ounces, so more than double the product of Wet n Wild, but it's going for around $11.97 to $12.99 for a single drugstore lip gloss. But it does have a much larger 16 shade range, so there's more variety, but they're still going to be on the clear side. So which gloss is going to be a better value is going to depend on what you compare. Oh my god, now I can't talk. This lip gloss battle, what you value the most, what you care about the most is going to be what wins out for you here, right? So if you want to keep costs low and you want to get the glossy look, you're going to have to do Wet n Wild. Okay? But if you want to spend the money, you want to go after the NYX, the value for the price is there. I mean, it's double the product. But I would really want to know, like, what is it costing these brands to make these products and the cost per ounce? So again, Jelly Job has twice the amount of product, 5 times more shade options, more treatment leaning. That justifies the price a bit. I still think it is out of hand. Absolutely not downplaying that at all. Wet n Wild is going to win for affordability, budget-focused shoppers, of course. NYX is going to win for people that want more product, they want a higher shade range, they want something that feels a little more viral and cool because it's NYX, right? And because it's skincare adjacent, I know a lot of people like that too. So summary of price and value. Wet n Wild is significantly cheaper and better for your budget. NYX is more product, more shades, and expanded shade range. Wet n Wild is just going to give you stronger value, immediate pigment payoff, shine payoff, and act like a stain, a little tint action, you know. And NYX delivers stronger value for variety and product longevity per tube. So how do you apply these things and get them to work the best for you with these wacky applicators? They're both designed to be easy, low effort application. And when I think low effort, I think I want to be able to pop something on, no lip liner, no lip combo, no 12-step routine, no mirror. I'm going to look okay. And I'm going to be able to do that with NYX, but there's enough pigment in Wet n Wild that I'd want to, if I'm not going to use a liner or anything, I'd still want to look in the mirror and make sure I'm not making a mess. Right? But let's talk about how can you get these on and get the most even application, a nice finish, good shine, the whole deal. So Wet n Wild comes in with that metal applicator. It's going to distribute the product evenly in a thin layer. It's going to pick up the right amount so you don't over or under apply. And that's really going to help you get that smooth finish, right? So just glide it along your natural lip shape. Put on a single layer. You're going to get that color payoff right away. You don't need to build it up. You're never going to feel that need. It's not going to work anyways. You can put this right on bare lips. Boom, you're done. And if you want to reapply it when the shine comes off and the tint remains, that's your call. It's not going to act up. Jelly Job has this plastic spatula-like thing, like a paddle, right? To spread this thick product across your lips, but size it in a way that gives you some control. So you do want to put this on in a thin layer from the center of the lip, blend it outward. You're going to get that sheer wash of milky color. You want to layer it over things. You want to get some dimension because it's a little bit on the sheer side. You can do that here, right? It's thicker than Wet n Wild. It's going to build more dramatically. It's really going to be glassy, right? So neither formula is going to be designed for long wear. That is how it goes with glossy things. So you're always going to have to reapply these to some degree if you feel so inclined, right? To get better longevity, always start with smooth, dry, clean lips. When you put the product on, don't immediately press your lips together. Allow the product some time to settle out over those lip lines. Reapply the product after you eat and drink and talk a lot, right? Of course, if you want to pair these with a lip liner, that is always an option. It'll give you additional definition and a little bit of color that will probably hang on when the overall lip color starts to go away. So summary, Wet n Wild applies the best in a single layer using the metal applicator. NYX works best in thin layers due to its thicker formula. Both formulas layer well but they're not designed to have long wear. And lip prep and reapplication are the key, as they always are, for maintaining any sort of lip look. So final verdict. What do we think here? Who wins in the boxing ring? I've already told you I'm not going to give you a winner because they're two very different formulas and it comes down to what do you want. I don't think either of them are bad. I don't think either of them are like the greatest invention at the drugstore either. Right? So they're both strong in their own categories of being jelly style glosses, this buzzword in beauty, but they're different. They have different outcomes, right? So I focused for you on the immediate gloss payoff, the feeling, the shine, the ingredients, all of the things. So you're going to buy Wet n Wild if you want something lightweight, shiny, with a lot of pigment. You're going to swipe it on. It's not going to feel like a whole lot on the lips. You're going to look juicy and fruity. You're going to smooth out the lip lines just a little bit. You're not going to feel heavily coated and painted, right? And you want that lower price point, and you don't care there's only 3 colors. You're going to make it work, right? You want a little bit of that lip tint action. You're going to buy NYX if you want a super thick lip gloss, something cushiony, something that kind of lingers around. You want softer lips, you want more of a natural tint. You're focusing on the skincare-like ingredients here. You want that glassy lip effect. And again, it has that plastic applicator to help you spread their thick product out. So who wins? No single winner. They prioritize different outcomes. Jelly Drip wins for shine, intensity, immediate color payoff, affordability. It delivers a lightweight feel, more noticeable glossy impact up front, and the metal applicator helps lay it all down. The NYX Jelly Job wins for texture richness, comfort, and longer lasting lip feel. It behaves more like a hybrid lip gloss and a lip treatment. It's thicker, it's conditioning, it is glass-like, and you can layer it to a degree. So what is the final takeaway here? Wet n Wild is better for an everyday glossy tint, for quick shine, visible color. NYX is going to be your go-to for a plush coated lip, more like clean girl to a degree. And now I have the pros and cons. We'll focus on the pros of Wet n Wild. So lightweight, non-sticky, barely there, strong pigment payoff in a single swipe, creates high shine finish that will smooth over your lip lines, give you that juicy look. It uses a cooling metal applicator for controlled and even application. It is more affordable. It fades into a soft tint that will linger, and it layers very smoothly, and you can reapply without any issues. And now the pros of NYX. It's thicker, cushiony, coats the lips, leaves your lips feeling conditioned when the shine goes away. It gives you a softer sheer, like your lips, a better sort of color payoff. It creates more of a glass-like, fuller finish due to its thicker formula. They have a bigger shade range, uses a spatula applicator, and maintains a long-lasting lip feel after eating and drinking. And now the cons of Wet n Wild. It loses shine in about 2 hours of wear. It's not buildable. The color stays pretty close to the initial application. It has limited shade range, strong watermelon scent that you may not like, and it does not leave any kind of like special feeling on the lips, right? Cons of NYX. It can feel slightly sticky and have visible lip gloss strings when you press your lips together. It has a higher price point, has less pigment payoff, and leaves more noticeable residue on the lips. You feel it like a lip mask. Which, I don't know, in my eyes, that's not really a con. Could be a con for other people. We're all different. And now the frequently asked questions, which is better? Well, Wet n Wild if you want stronger pigment payoff, a lighter feel, a lower price point. I'm just struggling to speak today. It's one of those days, okay? Then you have the Jelly Job lip gloss. That's going to be for you if you want something that is thicker, more conditioning texture, longer lasting feeling on the lips. Are these sticky? Not exactly. So I know that NYX is going to be the thicker option. It might feel a little bit sticky. This is not terrible. Again, it's not like a Lancome juicy tube sort of situation, and Wet n Wild is very lightweight. What is better for sensitive lips? Neither of these actually speak to sensitivities, and of course you should always patch test things and so on and so forth. Both of them are at least comfortable to wear. If you look at it from that point of view, Wet n Wild is going to feel lighter, of course. So is the Jelly Drip a dupe for Jelly Job? Neither of these are a dupe for each other. They're definitely not trying to do that. The brands are really just trying to capitalize on this whole jelly sort of word. They're not trying to be dupes of each other. What is the difference between these products? So Wet n Wild is lighter, more pigmented, fades into a tint. NYX is thicker, more conditioning, and leaves a longer lasting coating feel. Which is shinier? They're both really shiny. It is very close, maybe NYX by a little bit. Which lasts longer? So NYX is going to last longer just because it's thicker and it's going to take it a longer time to wear off, of course. And does Wet n Wild have more pigment? It does. And then per usual, I grabbed some Reddit comments about these products. So because I've already featured Jelly Drip before, I wanted to find some more comments on the Jelly Job. So people have said here that it is more comparable to Haus Labs, House Labs, however you want to say it, lip glosses that I've never tried. They say the NYX fills in the lip lines, and I don't like plumping in my formula, so it's nice that this is thick, and I happen to like the scent. Another comment on the jelly job, it smells like really cheap, and that makes it unwearable. The formula isn't anything special. I'm not a fan of the hard plastic applicator. And then for the jelly drip, I like the formula. Not a fan of the metal applicator. It's pigmented, thick, but not heavy feeling and super glossy. So that's it. So I'm excited to hear what you choose, or neither of them, of course. Both of these are going to give you that shiny, polished sort of lip look. They're going to cater to different preferences, different needs. They're on different timelines, right? The only commonality is they got funky applicators and they have jelly in the name. So Wet n Wild is going to focus on lightweight shine, stronger pigment payoff, more budget friendly. NYX is going to focus on a thicker conditioning formula, a softer tint, a longer lasting lip feeling experience. So the better choice is going to depend on what you prioritize and what do you want. I don't think either of them are a fail, needless to say. All right, that's the thing. Didn't take us too long. I said double the 30 minutes. And you never know what I'm going to do next, but I do have another jelly drip comparison for you coming at some point. But that's enough talking for me. I'm going to go.